Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Rip. Got a video today from the wall. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. Really appreciate that. Let's get at Chow. It's Chow Time. You 40. Maybe even 50. Maybe even 60.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll look at several stories of women over 40 who say age is just a number, that 40 is the new 20. These are women who teach
40
you
is a
how to
big number.
manifest a man. Others who say you can still have children even at 45. Your support means a lot to us. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 150,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Share your experiences and advice in the comments. That's what helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. All right, let's get started.
I was actually 45 when my daughter was born, not 40. I want to address some of the common criticisms that older moms sometimes get. First of all, women having babies in their 40s isn't a new thing. Childbearing years...
It never was a new thing. If someone had kids throughout most of their lives, yeah, they're going to have kids in their 40s. It's a normal thing in a sense. But it's not common, and it shouldn't be common. It shouldn't be normalized. Stop trying to normalize bad behavior and bad outcomes.
Span decades, so why this is shocking to some people is beyond me. I know so many older moms, both now and also when I was growing up. One of the most common criticisms that I see online is that it's not fair to have children in your 40s because those children won't have as much time with you as they would if you had them when you were younger. The truth is, nobody knows how much time they have, but let's say for the sake of the argument that we all get the same number of years and we all expire on the same exact day. Does that mean that we owe it to the next generation to give birth to them as young as possible? Not everyone is ready or willing to have a baby in their teens or 20s. Even if you do feel ready, sometimes finding the right partner can take some time, and some people like to become financially stable or reach other goals first. It's also really common for people to experience infertility, or in my case, secondary infertility. I planned on having our last child in my 30s, but when I was in my 30s, I had miscarriages. The most carefully made...
That didn't warn you or kind of tell you something about biology. Once it's 30 plus, it gets very, very difficult, and all of a sudden you got one at 45 and you didn't think that you were lucky in some way, shape, or form. Like, just think through it logically. If you had a bunch of miscarriages in your 30s, it's probably not a good idea to do it after your 30s. You just got lucky.
Plans can be completely out of our control, and it's mind-boggling to me that anyone could think a child has more or less right to exist based on the age of her mother. Another common concern is the increased risk of chromosomal abnormalities with advancing maternal age. The numbers vary a little bit according to the source, but a recent one that I read said that at age 30, a pregnant woman has a 0.1% chance of a baby with Down syndrome, and then by age 40, it increases to 1%. By the time I conceived my daughter at age 44, I had about a 2.5% chance of having a baby with Down syndrome. Conversely, I had a greater than 97% chance of having a baby with typical chromosomes who was perfectly healthy. More than half of people with Down syndrome were born to young moms, under 35. Lastly, the idea that older moms have less energy. I've had babies both in my 20s and in my 40s, and this hasn't been true.
And again, these are all anecdotal bullshit, because this is not across the board, old lady. Just because you have filters on and all this makeup to make you look like you're still in your 40s, which we know you're not, it doesn't mean every other woman is going to snap back like that from pregnancy. They're going to be able to give birth properly. They're not going to maybe die from giving birth, or their children don't come out super fucked up in some way, shape, or form. Stop it. Get some
True
help.
for me. And I really believe that while there are genetic factors that are out of our control, our overall fitness and lifestyle choices have more to do with our mental and physical health than our age does. Those are my thoughts, but I'm happy to continue the conversation in the comments.
I disagree with some of the things you're saying. It's well known that a woman who reaches the wall has lower chances of having children,
Correct.
especially if it's her first child. We're not saying it's impossible, just that the chances are low. Here are some statistics.
Like the whole miscarriage thing. As fathers, as men that want kids, do you want to risk having miscarriages constantly because your wife can't have kids or she's not suitable to have kids anymore, that's a lot of kids dying in a sense. Like, it to me that is pretty much worse than abortion, right? Like you tried to, but because you didn't plan properly or whatever it is, or something happened, the child still ends up dying. Are they not very similar?
At age 40, the probability of having a baby with Down syndrome is approximately 1%, 1 in 100,
That's a lot.
increasing to 1 in 30 by age 45. Without medical assistance, women's fertility begins to significantly decline after age 35. By 40, the monthly probability of conceiving naturally is about 5% to 10%, meaning 1 in 10 women over 40 could achieve a natural pregnancy. With fertility treatments, the odds increase to 10% to 15% per cycle, so 1 in 4 to 5 women might achieve pregnancy. The likelihood of children being born with health complications due to maternal age is estimated to be 5% to 10% in women aged 40 or older, according to the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Although these percentages may seem small, remember there are over 250 million women in this country, so those percentages represent many women.
Yep.
Therefore, yes, it remains a risk that not every man is willing to take.
It doesn't matter how old you get. It never hurts less. So, we'll update. I've been talking to the guy since early May, over 2 months, and we had a few dates, and I thought it went really well.
So
We
he
have
pounded.
everything in common. He texts me all day, every day. Same shared values, same life goals, same interests, really good banter. And he told me that I was smart and funny, and he told me that
Sometimes when I hear women like, they said that I was smart and I was funny. Shut up. Like, women are just so gullible.
I was beautiful, which is the first time it's ever happened in my whole life.
Did you not look in the mirror? No offense, but did you not look in the mirror to think that this man was lying to you?
And we went on a few dates, and then we were talking, and he just said he's really concerned that of my lack of physical activity. And I guess he's been trying to convince himself to find me attractive because I had such a good personality.
This is the thing with big girls. What she's going through, no, sorry, felt for me anyways, but big girls feel this way. Some of them have very good personalities. Yes, they're very good submissively. They can cook. They're nice. They're nice people. But you let yourself go. Like, did you not think men cared? Because we care.
And I told him that I didn't think that he should have to convince himself to find me attractive, and that I'm happy with my body, and it's okay if other people aren't.
Okay.
And it's really hard.
Move along. Move along.
I know it's the right thing, and I do believe that. It just is never easier.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit easier if you didn't just come on here crying, bitching, and moaning about all this. It just, you know what? Maybe I should lose some weight. Maybe if I worked a little harder on my body, I can get the man I want.
When you're dating and you're plus sized, it never really gets easier. And I'm sharing this because I, of course, turned to my girlfriends, but I forgot for a minute that they're all very beautiful and thin, and they've never had guys on the internet or just in life to their face tell them that they were ugly before. And so I know that there's a lot of other people like me on TikTok because I've seen a lot of you. And
yeah, that's why you guys need to lose weight so you don't get this particular comments anymore.
It's okay if it hurts. And you're not alone. And I really hope that one day...
I mean, how are you alone? You're that big. It's like two people next to each other constantly.
Yeah, we can get beyond fat phobia. And
Fat
maybe I'll
phobia.
meet.
We're not scared of you, girl. We're just somewhat disgusted and don't want anything to do with you other than maybe shove it in every so often. That's
I hope that one day we can overcome fat phobia, but from which side should we approach this topic? If you go out on the street and ask 100 people what they think about an overweight guy of the same weight as her, you'll hear all kinds of insults about that man.
of
But if you
course.
show a picture of a woman with the same weight, people are mostly compassionate. The majority, especially women, will say she's beautiful,
She's
while
a
they find the man
10.
creepy. He told her he was concerned about her weight. He didn't insult her. Men are often stood up, ignored, or even humiliated. Of course, that's not her fault, but I can assure you that her chances of finding a relationship are higher than those of a man in the same situation. In the continuation of this video, she already says she found a man. If it were a man in her circumstances, he'd probably be thinking he'll die alone. I'm not making excuses for men.
True.
Everyone should work on their body,
Agreed.
because even if you're not happy with it, it's your temple and the only one you've got.
Life is full of ups and downs. It's called squats. Get to it.
Always strive, brothers, to be the best version of yourselves.
If you have that spiritual, emotional, and mental connection with somebody, what makes us human is to want to take it further and make it physical. At least that's how it is for me. I have lots of acquaintances, but I can count on one hand on how many friends I have, and they're all men. If I have a partner and she says, I'm going out to lunch with Rick, my coworker, no, you're not. Because that means she's either naive, willfully ignorant, or not telling me the truth. And it's
Correct.
my job to protect that relationship from that, because you're not allowed to have that sort of connection with somebody with the opposite sex unless it's me. Because again,
Makes
to have
sense.
that and to say, I don't want to make it physical is to deny being a human. It's what we are. It's what we do. That's why all my friends are men. I want a woman who, if I told her, hey, look, I'm going out to lunch with Becky from work, she's going to say, no, you're not. Like, this used to be common sense in relationships, but it's not anymore, as evidenced by this comment right here. And we can get so self-righteous to think, oh, I would never cheat. I'm above that. I'm so moral, such a good person. I would never cave into that temptation.
But when temptation is temptation, that's why they call that stupid show Temptation Island, right? It's easy to not cheat when you don't see women around, you don't really go to parties and stuff like that. Now imagine if you were Tiger Woods, if there was busloads of gorgeous models waiting for you after every tournament, after every golf match. Is it a match? Whatever. Waiting for you, throwing themselves at you, ready to go. How much harder is it to curb that temptation?
You know, to thine own self be true. I'm a human being, and I know what human beings are capable of. Therefore, I don't put myself in that situation.
Agreed.
It's wisdom.
Absolutely. You never put yourself in a position to fail. Many women think that the men around them who say they're just friends don't have other intentions. But if she were to call him up and reveal her interest, I bet those men would confess their own. Brothers, there's always that tension between a man and a woman. I'm not saying a woman can never have contact with a man, because that's unrealistic, but it's one thing to have a friendship where everyone's with their partner, and we go out as a group. Meeting a man one-on-one is different, though, because no woman would be okay with her man meeting a female friend alone. So, it's not about cheating, but a woman who respects herself and her partner wouldn't do this to her man.
Okay, so these are things that I'm too old for as a woman in my 40s. Let's go. I am too old to have friends who I'm not 100% sure of. I used to keep
I
friends
can
around me
agree with
because I
this.
knew them for a long time. We had history together. But a lot of times these friends, when I would tell them my good news, their mood would immediately change. They would get like angry at me. I realized after
Yeah, sisterhood sucks.
a while they were not my real friends. I am way too old to keep people around me who I do not 100% trust. I am way too old to be at a club. At 10 p.m.,
You barely figured that out at 40? You should have figured that out in your 30s, girl.
I am in bed. I've already applied my nightly skincare. I've taken my nightly supplements. I got my lavender diffuser on. I am not going to a club. Day brunches, dinners only. I am not throwing hands with you.
Dig. Who's taking you to brunches and dinner only, lady? This is why these women really put these standards out because they don't get the standards that they usually want.
I'm way too old for that. I did that in my teens. But what I will do is I will
Fist
sue
fighting?
you. I will take you to court and we will litigate.
Really? You barely learned not to fist fight in your 40s, girl? How dumb are women?
I will sue you, but I will not throw hands with you. I am too old to not love my own company. I take myself out to dinner. I take myself out to the spa.
I can agree with
I
this.
love doing things by myself. And once I started really, truly loving doing things alone and being truly at peace with doing things by myself, I found that I never welcomed or allowed any toxic relationships in my life. And last, I am too old to fight for a man. I'm in a relationship now, but if I find out my man has somebody else, you could have him. I am not fighting for him. Adios.
And then they wonder why men don't want to date women in their 40s. They've lost the spark of being fun, which is why you see men their age looking for women 10 to 15 years younger. That spark, that energy, it's something these women have lost along the way. There's no passion, no excitement, things men look for in a partner. These women have moved past that stage and are now only focused on themselves.
Yep.
They're not women who will adapt to their partner. Instead, they'll want you to adapt to what they want. For that, I'd rather be alone, brothers.
So I'm over 40. In fact, I'm 50, and I met my current husband in my early 40s. We've been married 3 years. We dated for 5. He is a high value man
Go
and treats me
on.
like a queen. I want for nothing. Not saying this to show off. I've gotten a lot of questions and feedback about finding a partner once you hit the age of 40 and you're older. I have friends in their 60s who have met partners. I have friends in 40s and 50s.
How many friends do you have? How do you have friends with such huge age fucking gaps? I don't. Most of my friends are within my range of 30 to maybe early 40s and early 30s. And I'm like mid 30. I don't have very many friends in their 20s. And I don't have very many friends in their 50s and 60s. Where are all these people that you have all of these anecdotal evidence for? Stop lying.
Just because you hit a certain age doesn't mean you can't meet a partner.
No one said that.
You're going to attract.
You're just more miserable. That's why men don't want to deal with you at those ages. If you're not miserable, yeah, we will take care of things.
What you believe you're worthy of, or you're going to attract and align with what you believe about yourself. So if you're telling yourself there's no men out there over 40 or no one wants to date someone over 40 or 50, that's what you're going to experience. I've never believed that about myself, ever. Not in my 20s, not in my 30s, not in my 40s, certainly not in my 50s. You have to see yourself as the prize, as someone
Stupid, shitty
who
advice.
is attractive, who is magnetic. You have to pour into yourself and
You gotta
give
just
yourself that love
manifest.
and see yourself as the woman, as the beautiful, attractive, confident, magnetic woman who attracts a partner at her level, whatever that version of you is.
You don't even know what the fuck your level is. And to attract someone to your level. You know, you're broke, dusty, musty crusties. You're lucky that broke, dusty, musty, crusty men don't just hit you up constantly. That there's still rich men that still want to shove it in you and still hit you up.
But you also have to become that ideal version of you. See yourself and believe you are that attractive, beautiful
So
man.
you just see yourself and believe now you've done all the work to become the woman that deserves all these things.
Magnetic woman that men find irresistible. You take care of yourself, you nurture yourself. Because when you know you're a high value woman, which I believe that I am, and I know that I am, I have high standards for myself, physically, mentally, emotionally, in every capacity. So it's not just about looks. Of course, looks matter. Men are visual. But it's also about what you believe about yourself and how you treat yourself.
No, it's not about how you treat him, what things you bring to the table. It's how you believe in yourself and treat yourself. That's how he sees you, right?
And because I first and foremost love myself at an energetic level, my standards are high. I take care of my physical health. I take care of my emotional health. I take care of myself professionally, career-wise. It's all a holistic approach, and I attracted a partner at that level. So do I believe if you're over 40 or 50 or 60, you can attract a partner at your level? 100%. I'm in Vegas right now with some friends.
I also agree. At those ages, you can attract a partner at your level. Just none of you fucking ladies want a man at your level.
We're both 60 and 62, and she met her dream partner. We were talking about this last night. She manifested a man, 62 and she's 60, and they both look great, but at her level. And he treats her like a queen. So you're never too old for anything. If you believe you're too old, you're going to be too old. You're young, and you get to redefine your age, and you get to redefine how you feel. Don't let society or culture or other people, don't let them project their negative beliefs onto you.
If a man remarries after 50, it seems he never learned his lesson.
Yeah.
This whole thing about manifesting people is one of the silliest things you can hear. I've seen many women in the comments saying they're manifesting a husband, and others saying it's too late for them. The strange part is that she's telling you to manifest your man. Of course, with the catch that you need her mentorship or the pricey program she's selling, because apparently, praying at home doesn't work. What works, supposedly, is buying her expensive course where she'll tell you how to sit on the floor and ask for it. And then, somehow, a man of 50 or 60 will show up, madly in love with you and ready to marry. Honestly, you wonder who could believe this nonsense.
Women.
We've reached the end of the video.
Oh, women. They're so gullible, especially from each other. They tell each other these crazy white lies that probably are like a little bit more than white lies. And they all believe it, and they all do it. And then one of them gets it because, probability, still a thing. Someone gets finally that thing that everybody wants, but they manifested, and they're like, oh, look, see, it works. It works. Trash. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.